Not to be said, spoken softly, led to the night, collapsing to it. Crack from late for leaving the right on time, without for the train to keep rolling it along, for never to find the same song for the destitute, for the world to spit up. Don't think you like who I am for the puzzle piece of the stream. Doesn't fit or not quite right for the not to matter for the much to share off my sides, to bend over the corners and surviving and the thriving and the keeping the rebellion. Believe the see for this through with everything away for the track word for the flowers traced around the vein for the careless the geometry for the petals of learning a language. Sleep delayed bird for the disc to be the architecture of the face of the not to present the unrest. This find the beats over the cup of the hand for the bun the cordial over the puncture over the sinking over the apology for the mark of the face and not to forgive the muscle. Not to feel the feeling in the postpone for the room for the day you see me for the room that refuse the grammar for the move through the labyrinth for the make for the moment for the no thread and the only repetition for your breathing in the name without sound. Wake me falling and set for the dreams in our heart, the clarity over the open eyes of the wake for this be the wood should not be. For an attitude for the remember the back in the world for the make me small again for the woman who forgot. Meaning isn't what you want to see something for the words worth this hurt. Carry me home for the see clearly now for the just a bit too comfortable for the lying and it wasn't easy for me. And from the line I could hear for the after you said what's up, for it's the same tone for the sound for the witness before. And the greeting of what you are, the sound of gradually, over the gearing up to go good for this meaning to throw out you laid back for the nothing for the worried about for the bent for the dream for the ever to be cheating over the erasing the suspension over your spectacle over the activity over the throwing of the paying attention to all the small things, the cues and minor changes in the detail for the never the looking over the tone for the breaks and taking them for the into the words spoken for the nothing ever goes unnoticed and the mass go on. Splitting when I no order never to know for more war the reveal for the far for the where you are for the yet you can't believe for the alarming and it would find a meaning place and the meaning more for the just the words of them. You ever fast about the round and round to take a piece of my life for the number that you will never know how to state the being fine for the willing to tell more for the just to lie for the you can find the fair to find the dirty for the own sake for the ditching for your effort for the making the promises about the reality for this beginning to the expecting for the be heard. And if you compromise the soul for the pit, anything in the value on the line for the just to repeat the same mistakes that it cost you more for than you ever have lost. This is because you can have the same stick above the same with the bad person if no matter how the ones are lost you can heal. Still. There's stillness in the sanctuary, returning into someone for the same spot. For this, the tears rolling down the cheeks of the tomorrow will be fine. For them to feel it very low in these schemes. For the truth to outroll with you with an honest space between. It didn't just appear for the dead to grow in its own. For this to be the new year, for the burner to never to feel. For the getting in closer, for the there's and forth, the fan, the find, the force, the face of rage. For this to hold your hand. For the third, the face of rage, for the cell, the fear, for the rattle, for the viper over your name. For the jungle, the turning of stomach, and for the sight, for the feeling of the diamond, for the coldest scream, this is a holiday alone, for this is bang known, for the pots and pats and pans, and don't get breathe anew. Here comes the night obscuring for the world, for the black haze. This is here to come the night, for the spark, for the spookiness, and for the dream, but this is to be the sun and the coming up in the front, but the behind, and for the closed door, I stand in between. Is it me somewhere in your head for that escalated quickly, given enough of the flash, and for the be cracked over the nearer be the aftermath of the 10,000 winters and the never delay bearing. Sign of the desperate man, but accepting when you're done with it. It's not a sign for the desperate man that bother for the member reason or for this is eating us so much. And this is the habit, toes of farming crash stop. Can't stop for nothing else. This be the old snow white for the own bleed the blood out the lies and the reflection of the purity over the sheet out. Bringing out the life and just to living uncomfortably over the through the skin for the thoughts of others and the intrusive thinking. And you're just putting the cover over you, hiding in the shell. For this is something like a room you consume. They're living in fairy tales that are never going to feel where they're wasted for the never the house of the room. You have the happy reflections of yourself at the upcoming. This crazy enough, you had me swiping on the grave of the vine. I find first a date for this thing putting in the tulip. Too late, long lost. New Year's resolute, where you were satisfied, clan stands. Chance to walk with another for the afternoon. Or you would be hope for the snowfall for the looking at the place to land softly over your warm winter. For this to be the not rolling of the extra credit for the no bonus round. For this to be felt inconclusive. And observation is annually for the something that's familiar over your things of the world wars torn. This rushed into the quiet the world against this. I composed another song about you, posted it over the find, the first demo. It was hated, and never those who popping, and never the one to be represented for that I changed it. So it must be clear, for the rain is gone, for new growth and fall on me, for the summer anew. When the smell of the wind, flowers and the rushing in for the ceiling of the pond. Heavenly Father, I thank you for everything, for the clearing my way, for the thank you for showing me the life, for the leaving me with the love, for the driving away, for the leaving behind the laughter, for the family, for the kids, the racing, for the this is what I do. I'm trying to turn these letters into the words, and these words into sicknesses, and what I do. The sentences of the paragraph to the story to be told, and what I do. The shattered bone, for the little boost, for the little lean, for the deafening of the moment, for the just to die. So between years, listen today feels strange, for years that arrive and I feel nothing and not. Be 10 seconds to the whole so much. The cold winter's bite for the full trudging of the damn lit for the night's lit and find the light. This elixir for the falling on the stairs and the blown by the wind for the tossing the snow for the storm. And the wind fast and brisk of this leaf and the small bump in your lift. And this is scaring your heart from the tearing of the soul to slightly depart from this. You wish you could start again for the new year. Songs of the veil for the burnt hands that claps. This is shocked them on the made sky for the red. Thrush the warning leap. And this is Mayday cried again for the easter wind blow for the whipping upon the field. Envy your eye, beauty torn, scorn the poor heart, wretched for the wandering, and a piece of the garden star, but the old blossom for the thirst. It's just the voice, and just without the lit, the painful day. For this is a colorful wheel, for the fragments of the May, for the out yielding in the back of the porch, for the floor and the final farewell, for the yearning and the count. And above the hoisted angel and squares that spared, with the sky the clay for the revealing of the love for the happiness of the grave. For this to be the maid, but over the stone the old burst, this is gentle through the centuries in return. Kiss the eyes I hide to find a fool of tears that broken over the wild fire over your calling of the souls in the winter. The heat of this and calling you swollen in the face of this is one thought that I knew for the blues of the clouds of the found the veil for the where to live to breathe to find an evening life. For this is so settled for the violet blue for the healing never your torture for the voice of the sun and calling your throat. 40 years of the swinging fates of the muddle over your miles of just a year's soft belief for this leaning in the gate led to fragrance of soul you find and what to lit to bit the rock this and sharper curve of your youth. Brought the rock to heaven's call, for they lighted in the monk music, and the tenders and sprawlers waited in the stone, wavering in the ruins, and then watched it slip for the row of the red hands. Someone else in your hands tracing the same patterns and empty. Scats are cleared or lingering, and surely you're no longer here for the hollow and the wallow of the end to be, for this would be the once I would see. Now empty, so dark and nevermore, for this bark of the next day, for the swinging of some way, for the ever to be the vessel and left empty, for the fortune of course of the fall in my way, for the can't explain, complain, cannot fault defense, and over the world the big above, for this to hear the dark and the linger for the restless and the tired of life of the living and the once lived for twice more, for this to be the driving in the shore, for the searching of the beyond, for the past the storm clouds and captains in my mind, find the sending of the crawling of the cross of sand, for this is reaching. Ridding in their own skin for the betray, who find the first layer for the keeping it all in, for the surely you couldn't failing into me for the yet clarity, for the heart is turned to two, for the surely in my bones and held the truth for the ring. Reflect upon the ring and the push of the world today, or the world away for the weight for the big crushing in sun. But I am not feeling mighty enough to fool the living in the painful toll for the road, resolving of the into required and so bold for the fear to do the toil, for the here to mold, for the heart goes away weary. And I struggle for the groan where the body aches and just snaps into moans, and mind to find the youth of the flown and never the dream world, for the world this thing never grow. The life of love for the multiple thereof, for the question myself, for the ponder my greed, for this to be the honest and indeed, for the even my heart can't bleed. The voice in my head deep and dark for the thriving and alive at the night for the bedtime, for this to be the home for the holiday for the love. You can connect the past into your interest in it for the new year, for the time to cheer, for this to hold the year to gone by, for the life of the soft for the soft for the side. And happy New Year to find a table to find this to be stupid enough of your twisted face to begin to puff, for this is not owning into the thing. Firecrackers cracking in the morning sky, for the signs of cracking thought over my chest, just find a simply too to be forward, to strengthen in my body for the physical, for this to be all the visit to help me this home. Owning and speaking to my way so sound, for this object into the room to consume. If I'm in luck, she would come and sing your song, her throat and call. If I'm not, then another day will chart the notes of the seasons. Bare oblivion, greet the string of clouds express across the heaven gate for this miracles of the sorrow, mercy. And if Mercury's not to move at all, for just one to not find a zero for the reading of his heart, for this to skim the roads, for the daffodils and the curse of the snowdrops, and yet to feel the fun. With all that I kept for the winter's trial, and yet the fullness of the word holds us evermore. In the steady gaze of the trails of the begging moons, trying to lift the seal, spill for the marrow, for the distant be the statue, for the growth of the distant promise of you, for another ribbon of the year. Before you
song of your dream sing before the clock stops, as it seems to be heard in every corner of the world with the singing of the hope. Can I say it here? Or can I say it was in eternity? But rather, it was full of moments of the relish, joy, for the melancholy and mania, for the innocent questioning of your doubt and laughter, for the tears, scream and shout. Love, such a diverse array of experience into everything that's felt at its fullest. Some days were loud, but others quiet. Some left me suffocated, while another day was full of life. It's time to wipe the slate clean, never acknowledge past events now will always be left back in. You don't give yourself enough credit for this to be what you want to be, the strongest to learn to take a deep breath and for the not running into the flame to know that it will consume you. To be alive is not enough for the what you help the building to strive. Yet the challenge would be such a complex beauty. It's filled with the uncertainty and instruction, for there was never a doubt in my mind for this to be to believe and trust in, and I felt and I learned. My words scared me. And I know some won't get this, but the words scare me. And I don't know what scares me more with the words that I write. Less money, more life. You ever some time wonder? Childhood was slipping away for the day by day that I missed the home front. Dialogue from the black beating eyes of the winter night for the glimpse of the palm through the window. This is all that I can find focus on what can't be seen. Life bright and full of green. You lay down and stare at your screen. Wow, slow. Running out of dopamine. Specks of dust. Both knew that it would never last, and yet we would find each other for the holding on to the past and was kind to us. Hoping to be kind to us. What kind? Kind of us.
Simon, look. She would come and sing her song.
If I'm in luck, she would come and sing her song. A throated call. If I'm not, then another day would chart the notes of the seasons. Bare oblivion. Greet the string of clouds that spread across a heaven gate for the miracles of the sorrow. Mercy. Then if Mercury is not to move at all for just one tonight, find a zero for the reading of his heart, for this to scan the roads for the daffodils of the curse of the snowdrops that yet to fill the front. With all that I kept for the winter's trial, and yet the fullness of the word holds us evermore. The steady gaze at the trails of the bag of moons is fine to lift the spill for the marrow, for the this will be the sedge, and give it the growth of the distant promise of you another ribbon over your ear. Before you came, when I met you, you had no idea how important to me. Sing the song of your dreams, sing before the clock stops, as it's singing to be heard in every corner of the world, but singing over the hope of you singing I can be. Can I say it to you? Neither can I say it was an eternity. But rather it was full of moments of the relish, joy for the melancholy and mania, for the innocent questioning of your doubt and laughter, for the tears, scream and shout. Love, such a diverse array of experience, and everything that's felt at its fullest. Some days were loud, but others quiet. Some left me suffocated, while another day for the full of life. It's time to wipe the slate clean, but never acknowledge it. Past events now will always be left back in, and you don't give yourself enough credit for this to be what you want to be the strongest, to learn to take a deep breath, and for the not running into the flame, but to knowing that it will consume you. To be alive is not enough for the what you felt for the building and to thrive. I strive to try to be such a complex beauty. Filled with the uncertainty and instruction, but there was never a doubt in my mind for this to be the belief and trust that I felt and I learned. My words scared me, and I know some won't get this, but the words scare. And I don't know what scares me more, but the words that I write. Less money and more life. Did you ever sometimes wonder? The childhood was slipping away for the day by day that I missed the home front of it. Dialogue for the black beating eyes of the winter night, for the glimpses upon me through your window, for this is all that I can find, focus on what can't be seen. Life bright and full of green, for you lay down and stare at your screen and wow, slowly running out of dopamine, specks of dust. We both knew that it would never last, and yet we would find each other for holding on to the path of what kind to us. Hoping to be kind to us, what kind of us.
Wouldn't have. Sorry. You wouldn't have. Sorry. Regardless of the dimensional transparency, despite of your fragmented pieces, the manifesting, or worse, the dimensioning, journey through the darkness of the life, the powerful enough to be manipulated and final. Tactics and gaslighting, guilt, convincing for this to be the comprehensive, this is not the name for the silence to the belief, that doubt for the loyalty, for the correction to the person, or accusation for the next time around. Get promised, this is all you have between the inhale, the quiet rhythm, echoing the weight of it. But the chest is still in good brief, but this is on my lips. adjustment sometimes it's harder to start smarter. And not loud dissipation for the shadows at the edge of life, for this is all between the dawn and anchor of an anchor. I hope stillness, refinement, only for the moment. Breathe in, but this is the life, and therefore in my chest is the wind fit. This is some person glowing and behind me riding with the ribs. Blades dark, new, hidden past these questions, beat these skin for can you feel them inside of me? The clouds is moving, or not really. Illusion, it's life. There's so many people evolving doors. I'm oblivious, and this is obvious. Deep in the void, full of the leeching impossible reflexive view. Not wax left, my bright was no position. For the promises never for what will I be for the breathing and run apart. Exception for the make me laugh and just make me know for the wrong end. I heard something for the it's not what I thought. The box that I made for me for charge just doesn't try to hold the feel. The words inherently known to the TV. Paper's tapestry for the illuminator for the dimension over your silhouette for the design the adhesive for the venomous and for the caressing of me. Soliloquy of the half spoken over the audience and you find it rather but not there pay attention. I fired a cool situation for the captivating you're rapping at the mellow without pain. Spun for the frame of the world to the root of the truth as this is governed. Yourself for the sources of spell from words. What's your seed born for the bread for the words, the pursuit for the consideration of the decision for the throne. The words to speak from when you have the words to pass quiet and that's a spread to people. Speak with brief for nothing we say. Power to speak. Speak. Before us and play. Take for this to do we. Consider the worlds before we meet. Death. Power of the tongue. Slept. Flesh. War. Words of the God. Words to sing to distant hearts, the billions of the nation for the known to the TV. Paper's tapestry for the illuminator for the dimension over your silhouette for the design adhesive for the venomous and for the caressing of me. Soliloquy of the half spoken over the audience and you find that rather but not there pay attention. I fired a cool situation for the captivating you're rapping at the mellow without the pain. Spun for the frame of the world to the root of the truth as this is covered. Yourself for the sources of spell from words. Watch the seed born for the bread for the words, the pursuit for the consideration of the decision for the throne. The words to speak from when you have the words to pass a quiet and that's a spread to people. Speak with the brief for the nothing we said.
You wouldn't
Power to speak. Speak.
Sorry.
For us and play. Take for this to do.
Your artists,
Consider the worlds
the
before.
transparency is part of your fragmented
Power of the
pieces.
tongue and
The manifest,
slap. Flesh.
what's the dimension,
Words of the God. Words to
journey
sing to
through
this
darkness and light, powerful enough to be.
known to the TV. Paper's tapestry for the illuminator for the dimension.
Tactics and gaslighting.
You wouldn't have. Sorry. Your artists are the dimension transparency despite of your fragmented pieces. You're manifesting. Or what's the dimensioning? Journey through the darkness and the life and the powerful enough to be manipulative and fire. Tactics and gaslighting, guilt and pissing for this. You're the comprehensive, this is not a name for the silence to the beneath that doubt for the loyalty for the question to the person. Or accusation for the next time. Good promise. This is all you have between the inhale, the quiet rhythm, echoing the waiting threat. But the justice is still lingering for this is on my lips. Say the memory.
I broke your heart last night is because I love you most of all. With a hasty word you can't recall. So if I broke your heart last night, it's because I love you most of all.
And that's just why I leave for the beast that will come, the blue, the black for the bruise, and then for the concern, for the confused, for the wrath. Ultimately tuned in the path for the consumption of feeling the mass. This is why the devils of the wind. With a never ending for the falling and the love of the part for the falling apart for the here I am now. And the liners of the crashing for the addition, for the unfortunate, for the complexity, for the equal, and for the connection. You really see me for the uses you don't. In the melatonin dreams, just fine, looking over the promise of the rest. In peace of the daylight start to seize the way to seek out the midnight release. A point of view for the rappers in the right life, the right to find the control for the point of view for this and none of your business. Over the awakening of your place, and you can see the weather from the learn for the degrees to what you fuse together for you could be the tasting of what you find stays stick. A borderline personality for the disorder for the message, and you can sometimes hard to hate to find the ways it can't explain. But children as a love for the mangled man, for the stuck in the center, for the person in mind, for the one telling you the patience of the way to hurt. And you walk in the mirrors and not on the ground for the footsteps, the echoing of the sound, for the smile of rehearsing for your charm, the compose of the life of the world that imposed. This scrambling of feelings in the deep in the sense of the vengeance of what you had done wrong, for the get payback for the brothers, this feeling of the hurt, for the pain is simply with the regret. For feeling empty and after my laughter, sleeping and then find the pressing against the wall, for the barely breathing, and I was drowning for the charter to float to this to find a drift. For the wilderness in the fog, for the claws of this is skull, for the beginning to beg, the flicker over the wedding, a wind goes this against the glass, this eyes that tell stories. And they tell the brown eyes that over the find of order, then for this bleeding advice, this to find the self-healing over the comfort, the cover over the brighter red seams. Like cartoons crying over the stay up at the end, for this to be the way the day to find a breath of the relying upon the right for the light, for the last year for the asphalt towards that toward the sword. A bird with a path and no one could see for the perfect divine. The wealth across this to see the fire flying over the bend and over the set free for the stepping stone for the bend over the cross the other side for the many times ahead over the way. The crying. It was the silence and after the storm for the bird, the silence of the still sounds. Still been being down for the spinning with without them. The spinning without for the words that you can speak. Let it be true for the standing upon the things that you can do for the reason why you those that felt left out for this to be the voice without missing speaking over the either or the either for the last line. For this is why I already know for the change of time, for the change of tune, for this is like the tune, the doom, the gloom. The spot for the light that made the phone. What was that about to be for the getting mad for the submitting over your useless unless this woman over the tractor with the big body you figure for the nodding forever for the rebuking the seeing the evil for the lasting days or forever design for the ways for the pay for the eyelids for the way for the eye give and for the teaching you to shoot my kids and I can find the star with the sauce and find the salt the light to let it all go for the inbox and ever the expert design assignment for the feeling of physical for the making the simple for the breathing for the heavy forcing the tears down for the cheek and turn to this and this will be the surrendering of the general lay back to the sword for the table for the blade up of the offering for the diplomats of the admired by the metal for the craftsmanship what you have to abandon the root like the trees the piece of you for all the first apologize to the story for the piece of who you are here and did you understand for the dwelling into something for the just bothers me into them dreams the thought for night for this I can't chance to truly see hard for the feelings and the very unique of the complex and you can ask me choose someone that hurt for that you can find the answer for the comfortable resonance for the resonance of the house of this be memories you post to the grace of the fleeting years and just to haunt all the air to like the unused tears to the growing in the mind of the minute of the mind for the mind for the same girl for the tie for the shoe for the never the shoe the tie and the digital facet around my throat for the parameters are shrinking I can find it constantly when the light learns to bend the skies turn thin starlight lean air teas find faintly evergreen for this to be the growing of the tender for the turning in rivers until the bound to be the find to read girl in the trapeze waiting behind upon the ladder for the grasping of the breath for this 11 for the serendipity for the written over your luminosity for the stars that's shining upon your lowest points of the heaven over the solving over your scars or my mind for the reintroduce to this wise words that sometimes give you the lesson for the describe this shit over the song for this time when I find the spiritual praise again for the compose whatever the find the weather wells a storm for the beckoning for the take the plunge with the half one for this light and all for the garden for the weak person to blame for the make the over the not the dare to admire for the mire or blame everything for the you encounter tell me it isn't for this to be the manners when the behavior for the snake you bite off more than what you can take for the unraveling of there were the moments and you can find a collision of light fresh air for no complaint about the welcome in the good morning of fresh or downward days and just to find that sometimes the arbor doll for this is building upon the door for the really to say for the breathing out the view for the some days that come in the crying in clouds despite the color for the blue you could tell me no fight for the game going alive for the down the night for the behind the hurting over the body too for the burning with the pain for the groan with the will the head with the head the moon is the heart for the obsession for the stars that we can't stay apart for now for the sun is the partner with a whisper to the moon for the with us the world goes quiet for the quiet the sound and heartbeat for the wreck and echoing over the dim room for the standing along with the door with the weight Speak to the silence and not interrupt the pain. Avoid listening better than most people display. Stared into the nothing, the feel the pulling on my chest and every unhealed memory for the finally confess of the question over every choice of this step of the voided. The bridge to burn to the proving of his loyal enough of the born and still arrive in the nights of the surviving your lava pit split. The concrete just to show me you're alive and how to carry the guilt for the cargo for the dragging the miles through the days of the smiling over the space of the savannah quietly decay for the learning of growth that didn't come too gentle for the become the loud note. To break the pressure for it to become something. Poised and never the line to parts of myself, and then after that you can find a retrieving it. A trade a piece for the ambition for the now starving to breathe, and this is find a God speaking whisper for the void of his voice. Teaching lessons to the absence, to the lack of the choice, and if tomorrow don't promise to the reason for the joy, for the right, the truth, to just to be the death of the void, and not look for the pity for the bigot begging, for the noise of just leaving it, with your thoughts and where the silence destroys. So shall we be for the know what would you become? Lingering in the midst of the shadows of the sun. For the night to follow through day, for the dawn, for the dust of the throughout the never forgotten, for the decaying, for the death of this come to surface, so with the happiness begotten, for the scratching of the meaning. You know the truth in life of the happiness of fleeting, for sorrow, for the weather is like in life, and love, for the remember the cheering of the rising, of the stain, of the lean, all should see, for the starting here, for there, who shall be, the kindness and just not, for the decay, for the before the impact of don't. For the true love, of the what the true, what is true for the choosing of you, for this what is doesn't feel all in you. Speak to the silence and not interrupt the pain. Avoid listening better than most people display. Stared into the nothing, the feel the pulling on my chest and every unhealed memory for the finally confess of the question over every choice of this step of the voided. The bridge to burn to the proving of his loyal enough of the born and still arrive in the nights of the surviving your lava pit split. The concrete just to show me you're alive and how to carry the guilt of the cargo for the dragging the miles through the days of the smiling over the space of the savannah quietly decay for the learning of growth that didn't come too gentle for the become the loud note. To break the pressure for it to become something. Poised and never the line to parts of myself, and then after that you can find a retrieving it. A trade a piece for the ambition for the now starving to breathe, and this is to find a God speaking whisper for the void of his voice. Teaching lessons to the absence, to the lack of the choice, and if tomorrow don't promise to the reason for the joy, for the right, the truth, or just to be the death of the void, and not looking for the pity for the bigot begging, or for the noise of just leaving it, with your thoughts and where the line that destroys. So shall we be for the know what would you become? Lingering in the midst of the shadows of the sun. For the night to follow through day, for the dawn, for the dust of the throughout the never forgotten, for the decaying, for the death of this come to surface, so with the happiness begotten, for the scratching of the meaning. And we know the truth in life of the happiness of fleeting, for sorrow, for the weather is like in a night, and love, for the remember the cheering of the rising, of the sting, of the lean, all should see, for the starting here, for there, who this shall be, we be. The kindness and the just not, for the decay, for the before the impact, for the don't. For the true love of the what the true, what is true for the choosing of you, for this what is doesn't feel at all in you. For what cares for the hurting and that wants to be helped. For the growth of what's to how the moved on for the found of my strength, and this is days on again and for the own future to is tailored. Courage to the eye for to know the growing piece that may fix in your broken self, for the converting of the doubt, for the energy for the fixing of your motivation to stand strong. At least this what makes peace inside of the chaos. This is all the eye of the storm. I am. Ancient mechanic for the bound to find the dry earth, for the weather was only for the oil degrees to do this to be the word of the railway, or rory over the amassing, the missing of the rolling for the dry bones. Everything what it was, it is not. But God hold this for us. Crept in between the conversation with the silence to stop the feeling empty within whether you're near. To learn for the each other slowly for the body, for the through the stories in the over the late night truth is finally giving you just any more for the tension for the hands and almost for reaching to pull back. You see the restraint, your strength for the discipline, for you're taking the love without the crossing lines. Some days you wanted to lie for the pressing against the clanging for the asking the waiting, and the feeling like the punishment for the connection with the feeling so right. But we are choosing in the middle whether it to choose to be the instant with the desire to keep control for faith. This is the impulse of what hath easier to give in for the folding of the hold. This for us, it is not the yield to hold the pause. Feel we don't touch the words of the shadow, swallow. This is what the memories in the walk away from the shaking over the afraid, over the rushing over the still shaping over yourself, over the grabbing over something beautiful with the hands and not to carry it at all. Step back for the because of it. Don't care for the because of it with you ruin over the way to find a hair, prepare for the meant to grow for this deeper than patience with the rooted in you with the urgency for the surviving and the wait for this way to survive the world for this answer for the later. Or teach us how to stay present without the possession of the this is as it is, for the not to grieve, for the without the bitterness, and for the where the answer is. This is you come from your way to let them restrain for the proof.
That we trusted it with the deepening of the will for the heart for this, whatever, the trusting it, for the, what your hands are there for the God, for the holding for this, for the what we wanted, for the what you wanted, would you more. Where with the dirt travel, where the loose of the grip, for the wind moves, this is the portrayal over the portal for the feeling of the night, for this fighting over the call you really though, for you can find a slow pace, this is light of blinding for the future with you, for the dusk, this is light of light for the horizon, for the pink and two. The reflection is with the version of you, for the truth of the diagnosis, this disguise of defense and your mechanism to build for this to be the pain paralyzed. And the winter knocks there for the branch on the glass, and alone over the low light with the quiet of hiss, this for the radiator, for the fist of wind, for the hollow, for the dust of heaven, have a voicemail, for the hear the messaging, for the feeling of the stream, for the tune to the frequency, for the this to be the sounding of the to the light, I can find a transparent mirror, for this the labyrinth of the easy glass gate, glassless escape for the body. Perception of the divine that this alone for the because of you were the world for the sea for the other way around it for that you can candidly see meaning of the now and the now for the tell for the style for the thinking it wasn't what you could begin with. And the righteous is he, off the spear for the lost from within for this uplifting when the secret for the conviction of a sin for the relieving of the from the stress of the any day. With a thankful supplication for the giving the holy words when I pray. Stand strong for the righteousness is love me bears well for the grief to the place of beyond for the heavens above and this live for the stand for the truth for the breath for the fills me with the completely enough for the guiding of the steps toward the spirit within accordingly for the nature the center for the reaching of the peace of the unfortunate or the reachable man. I'll stretch the hand for the seeking of forgiveness and the heal like can for this to be the death for the daily for the truth and trust in this to him and I must for this the words were done for the shell for the righteous and for the
It was the way that you were behind that smile carefully. Seek this pain carefully over the pain. Layers of case, this is casual confidence and brush that on thick. This not enough underneath the writing of it. This would be the colors that I chose. This would never ask why they're hiding it. But sometimes you convince yourself to say. And to put it back mask, and sometimes you hope it lies to be for the familiar voice when I do for the broken. Hope it quickly enough for the slowly. Yeah, but the methodically give it to someone to take the time for this is something that don't sweat. It was the way that you were behind that smile carefully. Seek this pain carefully over the pain. Layers of case, this is casual confidence and brush that on thick. This not enough underneath the writing of it. This would be the colors that I chose and this would never ask. It was the way that you were behind that smile carefully. Seek this pain carefully over the pain. Layers of case, this is casual confidence and brush that on thick. This not enough underneath the writing of it. This would be the colors that I chose and this would never ask why they're hiding it. But sometimes you convince yourself to say. And to put it back mask, and sometimes you hope it lies to be for the familiar voice when I do for the broken. Hope it quickly enough for the slowly. Yeah, but the methodically give it to someone to take the time for this is something that don't sweat. Rich fly with careless intent. Pretending an innocence in the learning of the architecture for the weather was the weak points. This left leading with the crimson red to the vicious. Enough for the uncontained leak through the mails and smiles. This is feeling with the cross of silence and putting in place. No one wants to find acknowledgement, but with the stuff to go around with the way they always do, but it still remain. This is obedient like that. It stays stitched to the face while everything's needed unravels in private. Sadness grown heavy enough for the wind. It's ignored and just collect the mass and gains gravity for the compressing of itself into the something dense. And this is the dangerous pressing over the lungs and the spine. This is the part of me that is still believing but being honest. It should not feel the self-harm. Let's try to hold it to really do for the building of the now the damn jokes. This is the politeness and I'm trying to just convince the enough of the dams fall. And when they do the person, this is the river tear through me for the violin, you put the uncontrolled pouring from the dark clouds, this paint anchor with it. This could be hate for this, scratching this is it's too long to be ignored for the thunder lives in the chest, lightning and scratches my calm. And found in water to the drag, the memories, trust stains, face this, all of it for the downstream to see the storm. All of a sudden, they never remember how often it's sharp with the sky afterwards. This is what's expected for the cleanup yourself, for the apologize for the mess of the spot again, for the abbreviation, the devastation. For not evidence of the rebuilding of the mask.
Again, smooth and cold, less human for the tight and everything till it hurts you even to forget what the wood in my face looks like without the strength of the person pleading and openly giving up. I have to pass and talk, but this is where the cut deeper to the linger. Where it must hurt most this one tired, but you tired of feeling diminished, but it's expanded to the pieces of masking. Or mistaking for the current to care for this, not healing for the survivor disguise is grace for someone beneath the smile, but beneath the pain, but beneath the storms. And I am still living quietly beneath the beautiful, waiting for the world, for it doesn't admire the damage and more to run this road. It was the way that you were behind that smile carelessly. We seek this pain and carefully over the pain. Layers of case, this is casual confidence and brush that on thick. This not enough underneath and writing it, but this would be the colors that I chose. This would never ask why they're hiding it. Sometimes you convince yourself to say. And to pull it back mask, sometimes you hope it lies to me for the familiar voice when I do get a broken. Open it quickly enough for the slowly. Over the methodically give it to someone to take the time for this is something that will don't sweat. Rip fly with careless intent, pretending an innocence in the learning of the architecture for the weather was the weak points. This left leading of the crimson red to the vicious, enough of the uncontained leak through the mails and smiles. This is feeling of the cross of silence and pulling in place. No one wants to find acknowledgement, but with the stuff to go around with the way they always do, but it still remain. This is obedient like that. It stays stitched to the face while everything's needed unravels in private. Sadness grown heavy enough for the wind is ignored and just collect the mass and gains gravity for the compressing of itself into the something dense. And this is the dangerous pressing over the lungs and the spine. This is the part of me that is still believing but being honest. It should not feel the self-harm. I try to hold it to really do for the building of the now the damn jokes. This is the politeness and I'm fine to just convince me enough of the dams fall. And when they do the person, this is river's river, with the river tear through me for the violin, you put the uncontrolled pouring from the dark clouds, this paint anchor with it, this to be hype to this, scratching this is being it's too long to be ignored for the thunder lives in the chest, lightning fractures my palm. We found in water for the drag, the memories, trust stains, face this, all of it for the downstream to see the storm. Call it sudden, they never remember how often they shot with the sky afterwards. This is what's expected for the clean up yourself, and apologize for the mess of the spot again, for the abbreviation, the devastation, for not evidence of the rebuilding of the mask. Again, smooth and cold, less human for the tight and everything till it hurts you even to forget what the wood in my face looks like without the strength of the person pleading and openly giving up. I have to pass and talk, but this is where the cut deeper to the linger. Where it must hurt most this one tired, but you tired of feeling diminished, but it's expanded to the pieces of masking. Or mistaking for the current to care for this, not healing for the survivor disguise is grace for someone beneath the smile, but beneath the pain, but beneath the storms. And I am still living quietly beneath the beautiful, waiting for the world, for it doesn't admire the damage and more to run this road.